Today is a very auspicious day, appearance day of one of the dear most disciples of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Gaurabhai Kanash Gosai Maharaj. He got sannyas directly from Prabhupada, and he is also the sannyas guru of our Param Gurudev and also Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj and many others. So I will read what Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj wrote about him in Chaitanya Vani magazine. We have heard that during his life as a householder, Pujyapat Srila Bhakti Gaurabhai Kanash Gosai Maharaj, then known as Sri Ujjwaleshwar Patayoshi Parat, being disinterested in worldly affairs, sincerely sought a bona fide guru. Now I am telling, as also I heard from Gurudev, that before Maharaj, and you will find in Srila Bharati Maharaj's book, he was practicing Tantra and Mantra and all these things, and was very learned. He was a royal priest of a king. And one time, as I heard in Mayapur Dham, with his guru, the Tantric guru, they wanted to do some special sadhana, and in the night time, midnight time, they went to crematorium, and there was one dead body there, and you have to sit on that body and chant that mantra, and they were doing, and then after some time, that body start to shake, dead body start to shake. Then the guru of Maharaj, out of fear, he ran away. But Maharaj was, that time Ujjaleshwar, he was determined to continue. So he continued. Then the dead body also started to lift hands, but he continued. He was not afraid. Then ultimately that dead body spoke. He said, "What do you want?" Then Ujjaleshwar said, "I want knowledge, Gyan, knowledge." Then the dead body said, "You will not get it here by this. You will have to find proper source." So then Maharaj stopped, and then he was searching for Guru, whom he could take as a spiritual guide. And he went to many, but no one wanted to accept him as a disciple because he was already so advanced, spiritual, and so learned in everything. So no one felt that I can take him as a disciple. Then, after some time, now I'm continuing to read. One day, as fate, one more thing I forgot to say, there are many incidents from his past you will find in Srila Bharati Maharaj's book. One time also, in some place, he had to stay overnight because he could not reach on time. So some local people in that village said, yes, there is one house, no one is staying there, empty. So he went there. Then in the middle of the night, some frightening sounds and wind and all these things were happening. Then Maharaj was fearless and he asked, "Who are you?" Then that ghost spoke, "I am Brahma Daitya." That ghost. If someone was a Brahmin in past life and he did many sinful activities and misused like this, then he will become ghost, and they are very dangerous. Then Maharaj asked him, "What do you want?" Then that ghost said, "I want to eat you." Then Maharaj said, then what is the benefit in eating me? I am a Brahmin. You will commit another sin. That is no, then that ghost said, but what I can do? Anyhow, I cannot be rescued. So I will eat you. Then Maharaj said, why you cannot be rescued? Then that ghost said, because I can be rescued only if one fully observed Ekadashi as is fully perfectly done. That is on Dashami, 10th day, eating only once. Then noon time. Then on Ekadashi, no eating, no drinking, no sleeping, whole day and night. And on next day, eating only once, noon time. In the morning only breakfast, but only if such person gives me the fruit of following that Ekadashi, then I can be rescued. But now in Kali Yuga, there is no one like this. So I will eat you. Then that Maharaj said, I am following Ekadashi like this, every Ekadashi I am following. I will give you that fruit, I will rescue you. So he, by taking that water from Panchapatra and promising, I am giving that fruit to this ghost, and throw that water, and that ghost was liberated from that. Then in the morning, the villagers were surprised how he is still alive, because that person knew, but he was some crooked person. So the other villagers said, why he told you to stay in that house? We all know that there is a ghost and he's very dangerous. Why did he tell? But anyhow, Maharaj rescued that ghost. So he was not ordinary person, even before he came to the mud. And there are many other incidents also, very mystic. So one day, as fate would have it, when he was searching for a guru, but no one would accept him, so one day he came across a picture of our most worshipful Srila Prabhupada, means Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. Simply by seeing that picture, his heart was captivated and drawn to the lotus feet of Prabhupada, who brought auspiciousness to the entire world. He propagated devotion, Krishna Bhakti all over the world through his disciples. That means auspiciousness to the entire world. At that very moment, within his heart, Sri Ujjwaleshwarat became eager to meet Srila Prabhupada, and he accepted him as a bona fide guru and best friend who would take sole responsibility for his spiritual life, because others were not ready. By Prabhupada's causeless mercy, Sri Ujjwaleshwarat was able to sever his worldly ties with exemplary swiftness and arrive in Sridham Mayapur in 1933, where he took shelter of Sri Srila Prabhupada's exquisite lotus feet. Seeing his heartfelt attachment to following the path of pure devotion, Prabhupada gave him Krishna Nam Mahamantra and Mantra Diksha initiation after only a short while. After receiving Diksha from our most worshipful Prabhupada, Sri Ujjwaleshwarat became known as Sri Ujjwala Rasananda Das. Noting his disciples' ever increasing intense passion for performing bhajan sadhan, Srila Prabhupada granted him Tridanda Sannyas on the auspicious full moon day of Sri Sri Gaur's appearance, Friday, 1st March 1934, at Jogapit in Sridham Mayapur, the same place where Sriman Mahaprabhu appeared in this world. So after 1 year from getting Harinam and Mantra Diksha, after 1 year he got sannyas. his sannyas name became Tridandi Swami Srimad Bhakti Gaura Baikanash Gosai Maharaj. From then on, under the auspices of Sri Guru, he assumed the role of a roaming mendicant and dedicated his very life to propagating the divine message of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga in various places throughout India, from one region to the next. In his later years, following the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada, at the fervent behest of his Oriya disciples, he established Sri Saraswata Ashram in the village of Gonjugram near Brahmapur, otherwise known as Berhampur. After establishing the service of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Ji there, he remained at that place and performed bhajan sadhan until concluding his manifest pastimes in this world. Pujapat Maharaj was naturally resplendent with the multitude of attributes found in Vaishnavas, but in recalling his simple-hearted, amiable dealings and his sweetly peaceful presence, my heart becomes especially overwhelmed. After the disappearance of our most worshipful Prabhupada, he bestowed sannyas to many of his prominent godbrothers, such as Srimad Bhakti Daita Madhav Gosai Maharaj, the founder of Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math, Sri Bhakti Sauda Ashram Gosai Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Sharan Shanta Gosai Maharaj, myself and others. Means Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj also took from him. Although he accepted the position of sannyas guru, he continued to show us the respect due one's godbrothers and thereby demonstrated the ideal nature of a Vaishnava, which entails offering respects to others while not expecting any in return. Now I am telling here, this is not written by Puri Maharaj. We heard from our Gurudev that although Maharaj was very humble all the time and giving due respect to all, but our Parangurudev was having ideal character and he always showed great respect for his sannyas guru. All the time was respecting and carrying the danda, and also when Maharaj came to our Hyderabad mat, Parangurudev used to receive him in station and also did menial service of carrying umbrella for him and many other menial services. Although our Parangurudev came many years before to Prabhupada, in 1926, and this Maharaj came in 33. But still, because Prabhupada gave him sannyas directly after 1 year only, so, and he was so qualified, so pure and so learned and everything, so all had great respect for him. And our Parangurudev also, actually he first wanted to take sannyas from Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Gosai Maharaj, but because Sridhar Maharaj was already staying separately from Chaitanya Math, so Parangurudev thought that there would be some difficulty in Chaitanya Math if he took sannyas there. So what he did, he first came to Srila Sridhar Maharaj and said, I wanted to take sannyas from you, but this is the situation. So you please bless. And then Sridhar Maharaj said, okay, then I will select some name and the rest will be decided by your sannyas guru. So Sridhar Maharaj said, Bhakti Daita. This should be there, Bhakti Daita. And for third name, either Madhava or Damodar. Sridhar Maharaj told, let your sannyas guru decide. So then Parang Gurudev went to Srila Bhakti Gaura Baikanaj Gosai Maharaj and received this name, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Gosai Maharaj. And Sridhar Maharaj told, why Bhakti Daita? Because Prabhupada's Diksha name from Gorkishore Das Babaji was Barsha Banabi Daita Das. So remembering that, Sridhar Maharaj wanted to give this name, Bhakti Daita Madhav Damodar, so he got. And also I heard from Gurudev that this Barsha Banabi Daita Das can mean, as is written in that Vaishnavism Real and Apparent, Parsha Banabi means Radharani, Daita means who is there to Radharani, that is Krishna. So servant of Krishna who is there to Radharani, Parsha Banabi Daita Das, this is one meaning. Another meaning is, our Gurudev told, Parsha Banabi Daita Das. There means the servant of those who are there to Radharani. Barsha Banabi Daita means Lalita, Rupa Manjari, and these Sakis Manjaris. They are there to Radharani. So their servant, Barsha Banabi Daita Das. Because we are saying in Prana Mantra, Namayom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Nami Shri Barsha Banabi Devi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vigyana Daine Pravena. Barsha Banabi Daita, very dear to Radharani. So then Srila Bhakti Guru Baikanaj Gosai Maharaj gave sannyas, and our Parang Gurudev would always fully respect him as his sannyas guru. Then Puri Maharaj continues here. We were stunned to see that even in his extremely advanced age, Srila Bhakti Gaura Baikanaj Gosai Maharaj's acute powers of memory remained unaffected. Every day we heard him recite songs and prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam, means he got it by heart, not reading the book, but he just recited. What? Garbha Stuti, that is that chapter in 10th Canto, second one, when Krishna was in the womb of Devaki and all the demigods came to offer prayers to the womb. So that whole chapter is called Garbha Stuti, that he was reciting. Brahma Stuti, when Brahma surrendered to Krishna after stealing his cows and cowherd boys. That chapter, 14th, Rasa Panchadhyaya. This means 5 chapters of Rasa Lila. Maharaj would recite without seeing the book. He memorized everything. Brahmar Gita, that is that chapter where that bee, bumblebee, black bumblebee, is in front of Radharani, and Radharani thinks that because she is black, she came from Mathura, from Krishna, and Radharani is outpouring her heart to that bee, speaking many her emotions out, separation, grief. So that chapter, Prahlad Charitra whole, and Gajendra Moksa, which we are reading now. Additionally, he would often recite Brahma Sanhita and the entire Bhagavad Gita, as well as various Vedic mantras and many hymns composed by Shri Rup and Raghunath Das Goswamis. Our Gurudev told that when there was installation of deities and like this, he would recite mantras, all those mantras, without seeing the book. He was so sharp because from birth this was his practice. He was a scholar and that. But of course he's not ordinary person. That is the point. They are personal associates of Prabhupada. They came with him, so he displayed this. Yes, then this is for this appearance. And our Gurudev, we also heard from him, he said that he saw him in Mayapur in our mat. He was, or maybe it was in Chaitanya mat that time. Maharaj would speak in Oriya, but sometimes in Sanskrit also. So, and the listeners, then they would ask some questions, and he would very affectionately and compassionately reply. But sometimes if some persons came and they would ask questions for the sake of debating with Maharaj or trying to show how much they know, Maharaj would sense that. He could see in their heart, so he would just smile and did not utter any word. Because they did not come for actual bhajan, they came for others, so why they will waste time? Like Rupa Sanatan, they did not want to debate with that Digvijay Pandit, so they signed, yes, we are defeated. So here Maharaj also showed same, that he's not interested in any worldly name and fame and debating, and all waste of time. We came for the service of Krishna. So if someone is interested in the service of Krishna, then he will give help, but otherwise no need. So Gurudev also told he got some service of him, and you will find some details also in Srila Bharati Maharaj's book. I saw Maharaj's photo in our Calcutta mat in the Bhajan Kutir of Parangurudev. That photo where Parangurudev is carrying umbrella for Maharaj and some other photos. So remembering that photo, I am going down to Maharaj and praying for his causeless mercy, for pure devotion to Krishna and his devotees. And we are observing Kartik Vrata. We are hearing about Gajendra Moksa. We started third chapter. Yesterday I read this verse. Thereafter, Gajendra, deciding in this way, fixed his mind on his heart with his intelligence and chanted a mantra which he had learned in his previous birth. Here Gurudev explained that who will take shelter of Supreme Lord? Only those who have Sukriti, accumulated Sukriti from past life or this life, they will have that aptitude or inclination to take shelter of Supreme Lord. Not all. Those who have no Sukriti, even if they will be in danger, they will not. But if someone will take shelter of Krishna, means he has Sukriti. So as we will see later, Gajendra, also here it is mentioned, in past life he was already doing worship, and that mantra which he was chanting in previous birth, that came to his mind, because that is not lost. When we die, nothing gross of this world will go with us. No any money, house, car, nothing will go with us. Subtle body will go with us. That is the information about the fruits of our actions, what we have to get, and desires and like this, but no things and nothing you can take. And your devotion is the only thing what you can take with you always. That is never destroyed. When once that causeless devotion to Krishna, eternal nature of the soul, is manifested, or up to what extent, that can never be destroyed. It can be covered for some reason for some time, but can never be destroyed. So even in the birth of animal, that was stored in his Atma, and that came to his mind. That is eternal good impressions. not temporary, eternal good impressions, sanskaras. So that had an effect. And also we are singing now during Kartik in fourth period of devotional practice in the song of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Poshu Pokhi Hoye Thaki, Svarge Baniroye, Rohu Bhakti Binoda Hridoye. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying an animal or bird or anything. I don't mind. According to my karma that will come, I don't mind, or I am not praying for any high birth or low birth, or I'm not praying anything. What I'm praying is, let me have causeless devotion to you. So here we see, though Gajendra is animal, but he manifested that devotion to Krishna in this situation, because like Dhruva, when he saw Narayan, then there is such bliss in service of Narayan that you cannot have any other desire. And that devotion is coming from Atma. I am He knows that this devotion is ahoituki apratihata, causeless and unobstructed by anything. So they don't mind whether in dead body, this body or whatever body, they don't mind and not praying for anything. Only they want devotion, because devotion is what is valuable and devotion is what is fulfilling them. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur also in that song we are singing, he said, I am not desiring to be born as a Brahma, highest birth in material universe, but to not be your devotee. I may be born as an insect, but let me have your devotion. That is fine with me. So only those who have transcendental realization, they can understand this point. Why they are not praying for any kind of high or low birth or anything? Why they are also not praying for liberation? They are praying only for devotion to Krishna. That is supreme and that is actually fulfilling. They know this. So there can be no any other desire in them except devotion. So who will take shelter? Our Gurudev gave example of that Nixon pilot. In First World War, he was a pilot that time planes started, and he was a spy to get information. And Guru said that at that time, the Germans did not have such powerful weapons yet. That was First War. That they could shoot the plane. They could not. So long. So, because he was pilot and he was bringing different informations from the air, where is and so many things. So it was very valuable, and he also became very famous. And Guru said, once you become famous, then that goes into your head. You become more and more proud and you want more and more. So one day he wanted to bring some more detailed information, and he was flying very low. So the Germans, they could shoot him. And that plane was on fire and it was falling down. And in his biography, Nixon told, I was out and out atheist and I became out and out theist. Before he was ridiculing these religious persons, he said, no, I don't believe in God. I'm not going to church. I'm not believing anything. He was having such mood. But now, when he saw that death is in front of him, like Gajendra, then he said, if there is any Almighty Supreme Lord, God, kindly please rescue me, please help me. If, he said. But still, that was semblance of Sharanagati, but that had effect. That plane, instead of crashing down to Germany, it fell on French side, from where he was flying. He's British, but from French side he was. Fell there on the border near, so the French people they could bring, and he had 2 or 3 assistants also on the plane. All died except him, he was alive and in coma. They treated him, but he did not get consciousness, so they brought him to England, and in England he woke up from coma, and then he asked, what happened? They said, your plane crashed. And he said, where are the others, my colleagues? They said, all died, only you survived. Then at that moment he remembered, oh, I was praying to God, so surely he saved me. Then he changed. He had belief, and then he started to go to church and read many books, religious and everything, and asking priests, Christian, many things, very deep questions. So they ultimately told him, we don't know so much. As you are asking, we don't know so much. We know this moral reality and like this. But we heard that in India, there are some, they are meditating and yogis and like this, and they get some mystical experiences. So maybe you can ask them better. So really, that was also all arranged by Krishna. He's everywhere. So really he went to India. At that time, already British administration. So he got a job to teach English in Lucknow University. And there he also himself learned Sanskrit language in order to read Indian religious and the spiritual all books. So he was reading Upanishads, Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, everything he was reading. And he especially liked Vedanta Sutra. He said very logical and very, and you need some intelligence to understand, and very profound knowledge is there. He was very satisfied. But in that Lucknow University, that dean who was there, he had a wife, Jashoda Bai, or Mai, I think by some. Jashoda, she was Krishna Bhakta. I checked on internet. She's coming from Gopal Bhatta Goswami Radharaman temple, that line. She took mantra from Radharaman temple. So she was Gauriya Vaishnav, and she used to read Srimad Bhagavatam. And he heard from her Srimad Bhagavatam, and after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, he was fully blissful. He said, when I read Vedanta Sutra, I got full food for my intellect. But now when I heard Bhagavatam, I got full food for my heart. And he became mad for Krishna Prema, to want to attain Krishna Prema, love of Krishna. So he surrendered to her, and she became his guru. She gave him the mantra, and because he was so mad, so eager for Krishna Prem, she gave him the name Krishna Prem Das. And he was doing bhajan. Then she also renounced, and while at that time also he came to our Mayapur Chaitanya Math. He met Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur there, and he heard from him about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was actually the first Western Gauriya Vaishnava. Started with him. He was later on that German, they came and took shelter, but he was already her disciple, but he heard about Mahaprabhu from Prabhupada. So that is not ordinary thing. Prabhupada is coming directly from Mahaprabhu, not different from Mahaprabhu. He can speak directly about Mahaprabhu. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he said, he met him in Vrindavan. He was very tall and very bright, and really he was serious. He was like a sannyasi. He was serious because already he was in front of death. So he was very serious. And with that Jashoda, by they made one ashram. First she was guru, and then after her disappearance, he became guru and had many Indian disciples. And after he passed away, that Indian president Radhakrishnan at that time, he also declared him as a saint. So not ordinary person. So Gurudev said, even a glimpse or semblance or slight sharanagati, he really said, if there is any Supreme Lord, please help me. He said from the Guru in front of his death. So he got such a response from Krishna. He made all this arrangement for him that he got. You will find on Wikipedia also about him, Krishna Prem. Nowadays there are some misinformations about him that later he changed like this, but it is not true. Many people, they want to take his name for their own purpose. The point is he became pure devotee by this whole arrangement, and he went to Krishna. So this is one example, and another example is that in Jagadri in Punjab, that lady took one rickshaw in the evening, and already it was little dark, so that rickshaw guy went to forest inside, and immediately she understood that something is wrong, and she had some golden ornaments. So that rickshaw guy means then in the morning, villagers, when they were going, they heard some sound there, and they came near, and in that pond, one water pond, she was there half unconscious, but repeating Ha Govinda, Ha Govinda, Ha Govinda, Ha Govinda, and one black poisonous snake was circling around her. And they saw rickshaw is turned around, and that rickshaw wala is dead by snake bite, and one dagger knife is there lying. When they came near and they saw her, then that snake went away, by automatically went away. Then they took her out from that water, and they asked what happened. Then she said that that rickshaw guy attacked me with that knife, so I was afraid. I jumped into that to rescue myself into that water, and then this happened. So that snake bit that rickshaw guy, and that snake was whole night was circling that lady to protect her, to give her that feeling of protection. Why? Because she took shelter of Krishna. She was crying, Ha Govinda, Ha Govinda, you calling Govinda, really. So Govinda came in the form of that snake and rescued her. This is a fact. It was in newspapers also. And there are so many other also examples. So one who will have Sukriti, our Gurudev also used to tell when there was an earthquake in Gwalpara, in his birthplace, then they were under, they were fair, then everyone was calling. Some were saying Haribol, Haribol, and Muslims Allahu Akbar, and all were calling. Generally, they would not during every day, but when they were under pressure of fear, that earthquake came, then all were shouting, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. I also once experienced, every year I'm telling, with I had Air France flight to Delhi, but that was I missed due to the flight, so they put me on Air India from London. That Air India flight, there was a heavy turbulence. We were falling down and left and right and little up and left and right, very, very scary. And all were shouting, Jesus Christ. I was chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And some others said, Gosai, Gosai, Gosai. Some were screaming, some like this, everyone shouting. Then somehow that pilot went low, he lowered that height. Still there was some bumping, but not so much. But that was very scary that time. So everyone calling. So whoever has Sukriti, they will take shelter. But if there is no Sukriti, then they will not take shelter. Krishna says in Gita, 4 kinds of people, those who have Sukriti, we were hearing, Artarti, one who wants material, some benefit, one who is in distress, that is, example is Gajendra. Arti is Dhruva, he wanted bigger kingdom. And there are some who want knowledge, and those who know the absolute truth, they will take shelter of him. They will do. But those who are dushkriti people, sinful persons, envious, lowest of men, naradamas and mayavadis like this, they will not take shelter until they will gather that Sukriti. So our Gurudev also told about that old Mataji you heard. All they were requesting her, you please say Hare Krishna. But she said, no, I cannot speak so many words. And speaking other things and everything, but not uttering name. And our Gurudev also gave that example that when he was studying in college, in hostel, they came to know that one very famous astrologer whose predictions till now, everything came true till now, very famous. So he said, on that day, there will be universal destruction of the world. Nothing will remain, everyone will die, he said. So then the students, they thought, okay, we will die. Now what we should do? Then they decided, our parents, they gave us money, so let us utilize that money. Let us eat as much as possible from that shop in hostel. Rasagula, samosa, gulab jamun, everything. Gurudev said samosa was there also. So many things they were eating. They thought they will think we are very intelligent. We utilized money. Parents will be happy. So Gurudev said, I was also with them. They were majority, what I can say. And they were eating, and Guru said, how much you can eat? Up to certain point you can eat, then you cannot eat anymore. And that shopkeeper was very happy. He got a lot of money. And then they were waiting, but then there was no universal dissolution, and one was dreaming that there was like this. So Gurudev said, I still remember that we all knew we will die, but none of us said, let us worship Supreme Lord. None. Because no Sukriti. Gurudev also playing this pastime. And also it is true that even for Sukriti, if someone has, it may appear at certain period of your life. And it may also last for some period also. Depends how weak and how much and like this. Maybe it can come at that point and it will last for some time. Again, it will be covered by karma and all this. So this is also there. But anyhow, that aptitude to take shelter of Supreme Lord will come only to those who have Sukriti and will not come to those who have no Sukriti. They are Dushkritis. Krishna says in Gita. So not all. That is why those who are preachers also, they know. They will try to encourage everyone, but some will accept, some will not. They will not try to force because they know it is not possible to achieve by force. So this mantra, which he had learned in his previous verse, that came to his mind and he was in samadhaya, means like a samadhi, means he was one pointed concentration he had. That means fixed his mind on his heart with his intelligence. What was that intelligence? I will take shelter of Supreme Lord. That is supreme intelligence. So with this intelligence, he fixed his mind in his heart one-pointedly and chanted this mantra with one-pointed attention from the core of heart. Gurudev said, because he was in practical field, his death was in front of him. So he was, from the core of heart, he was saying, Gurudev said, if we also would say from the core of heart, we would get same result. But we don't want, so that is the thing. But he got the result. By the fruit you can know the tree. Really he took shelter of Supreme Lord and really he ultimately desired only his service. That is why he got that. So this is the verse I will read today. Shri Gajendra Uvach. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yata Eta Chidatmakam Purushaya Dibijaya Pareshaya Bhi Dhimahi. I offer respects to the Supreme Lord and meditate upon him because he makes the universe and body conscious. He is in the form of a human, which is the final cause of everything. He is the Supreme Lord. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, I offer respects to and meditate upon the Lord, because of whom this world of gross and subtle bodies made of Maya becomes conscious. I offer respects to the Lord with a human form, who is the final cause and thus the Supreme Lord. So tomorrow we will go more deep into explanation of this verse. Purushaya the Adi Bijaya. He is the seed. Without him, no movement can be there and nothing, no consciousness, nothing. So Gurudev gave example from science also, motor nerves and sensory nerves, and that scientific process, but it will not work without mind and like this, and nothing will work without Supreme Lord. So he is the root, he makes everything move. So tomorrow we will hear.